How did one private workout turn into legal papers being handed to me in a lobby with witnesses? Why did my husband stay calm for weeks, then end it in one lawful move after he saw the hidden camera video? I thought I could control the story, but the result hit in public. My name is Ottilie Benson, but everyone calls me Tilly because it sounds softer. I was 34 then, and I worked in HR at a mid-sized tech company. I liked my job because I knew how people moved. I knew what they feared. I knew what words made them step back. Ethan was my husband. He was 36, and he acted like the world was a list. He planned everything. He checked the time. He asked questions the way a manager asks questions. I used to call it care. Later, I called it control. That word helped me breathe. We had 2 kids, Maya and Noah. Maya was 8 and she watched faces more than cartoons. Noah was 5, and he repeated anything he heard, like a little echo. Our house was normal from the street, a small yard, a nice porch light, a tight schedule. If you passed by, you would think we were fine. The home gym was Ethan's idea at first. He said it would save money. He said it would be safer than a public gym. He moved things into the basement and made a clean space. He even placed a mat straight like a ruler line. I hated how proud he looked. It made me feel like I owed him something. After my second baby, I felt invisible. People said I looked tired, like it was a joke. Ethan said I was still beautiful, but he said it like a duty. He would kiss my forehead and go back to his laptop. I told myself that was neglect. I told myself I was starving in my own home. So when I found Logan, it felt like a door opening. Logan Price was 29. He was a trainer who did private sessions. He had a bright smile, and he listened like every word mattered. He had that easy confidence, like he belonged everywhere. I met him through a coworker who loved posting gym clips. Logan offered home sessions for people with busy lives. I love that phrase. It sounded like I was important. I brought it up at dinner. Ethan asked why I needed a trainer when we had equipment. I said I wanted structure. He asked what was wrong with his plan. I said his plan felt like his plan, not mine. He looked hurt, and I felt a quick thrill because he finally reacted. He asked how much it cost. I said it was an investment. He said we should review the budget. I said he cared more about money than my health. He asked if he could meet Logan. I said that was weird. I told him it was not normal to interview a trainer like a babysitter. I said he was being jealous. Ethan went quiet. When Ethan went quiet, I filled the space. I started listing all the ways I carried the family. I said I managed the kids' schedules. I said I worked full-time. I said I did emotional labor. I used big phrases like that. They made me sound wise. He asked what emotional labor meant. I said he would not understand because he never did it. That weekend, Logan came for the first session. I made sure Ethan was busy upstairs. I told Ethan I wanted privacy because I felt embarrassed learning new moves. He asked why. I said he watched me like I was a project. That stung him, and I liked that it stung. In the basement, Logan looked around and said we had a great setup. He asked what my goals were. I said I wanted my confidence back. He said confidence comes from results. I agreed fast. I always agreed fast when it matched my story. We did simple exercises, nothing dramatic, but he corrected my posture with calm hands and clear words. He said I was strong. He said most men did not understand how hard women worked. I laughed and said Ethan was a good man, but he did not see me. Logan nodded like he believed me. That nod felt like permission. After Logan left, I went upstairs glowing. Ethan asked how it went. I said it was fine. He asked why I seemed so happy. I said it was because I finally did something for myself. He asked if I could share the plan. I said it was not his business. That night, Ethan opened our shared calendar on the kitchen counter. I saw the screen from the hallway. He scrolled slowly, like he was looking for a pattern. I had put the sessions in as training. I did not hide it. I wanted to be seen, but only on my terms. He asked why the sessions were getting later. I said Logan had limited times. He asked why I picked late times. I said that was when I had energy. He asked why I did not have energy for him. I said he always made it about him. Maya walked in and asked if we could play a board game. Ethan said yes right away. I said I was tired. It was true, but it was also useful. Ethan played with the kids while I sat on my phone and smiled at messages. In the office on Monday, I told my friend Cassidy that Ethan was acting weird. Cassidy asked what he did. I said he questioned my schedule. She rolled her eyes. She said, "Men hate when women improve." I nodded like that was a proven fact. At lunch, I told Jules, another coworker, that Ethan was getting controlling. Jules asked if Ethan ever yelled. I said no, but I said his silence was worse. I said silence was emotional punishment. I said it was a form of violence. That word was too big, but it made people lean toward me. I saw it work, and I kept it. Cassidy asked if I felt safe. I said yes, but I said I felt watched. I did not say why I chose that word. It was a seed. In HR, I knew seeds mattered. People remember the first label they hear. Later that week, I met Logan at a coffee shop near my office to discuss my plan. That was what I told myself. He asked how things were at home. I said Ethan was insecure. He asked if Ethan supported my fitness. I said Ethan supported me in theory, not in practice. Logan said I deserved a partner who cheered for me. I said Ethan used to cheer, but he stopped. I did not mention that I also stopped cheering for Ethan a long time ago. Logan suggested adding an extra session. I hesitated for 1 second. Then I said yes. I told myself it was just training. I told myself I was allowed to have something that was mine. When I got home, Ethan was at the kitchen sink. 2 mugs were on the counter, placed far apart. It looked petty. It looked like a silent statement. I hated how it made me feel small. He asked if I went out after work. I said I stayed late in the office. He asked why my GPS showed a coffee shop. I said the app was wrong. I said phones track weird. He stared at me like he was choosing words carefully. He asked if we could talk later. I said I was too tired. He asked if we could talk tomorrow. I said he was making it a bigger deal than it was. That night, I heard a faint printer sound from his office, like paper moving. Then I heard it again, but softer, like it spit out a blank page. I told myself he was being dramatic. I told myself he was making evidence because he liked control. It made me feel angry, and anger made it easier to lie. The next morning, Ethan's phone buzzed on the counter. The screen lit up with a calendar reminder I had never seen before. It said, "Meeting personal." No place, no details. He flipped the phone over fast when he noticed me watching. I smiled like I did not care. Inside, something tight turned. I went down to the basement for my next session, and I looked up at the shelf again. A small dark dot sat near a box of old cables. It could have been a sensor. It could have been nothing. I told myself Ethan was too lazy to set up anything smart. I told myself I was safe. Then I started my workout anyway, because I refused to let a tiny doubt ruin what I believed I deserved. The next week felt like a stage, and I was the main act. I walked through my days like people were watching, even when they were not. It made me careful, but also bold. If I could control the story, I could control the shame. Logan came twice that week. I told Ethan the second session was a schedule change. He asked why the trainer needed more time. I said progress takes time. He asked why it had to be at home. I said I did not feel safe in public gyms. He asked what made me unsafe. I said men staring. I let him think he was the problem again, because it was easier. In the basement, Logan kept his voice low, like we shared a secret. He asked how Ethan was treating me. I said Ethan acted like my dad. Logan said that sounded exhausting. I said it was. I did not say that Ethan also packed lunches and folded laundry and never missed a school event. Those facts did not help my case. After one session, I went upstairs and found Ethan in the kitchen. He was wiping the counter in slow lines, the way he did when he was thinking. He asked if Logan always stayed the full hour. I said yes. He asked if I wanted him to be home during sessions. I said no, because he made me tense. He asked why he made me tense. I said he judged me. He said he was not judging. He said he was confused. I told him confusion was not my job to fix. He asked if I could at least keep the basement door open during training. I said he did not get to set rules for my body. He said it was not about my body. He said it was about privacy in the house. I said privacy was what he wanted, not what I needed. I watched his face tighten, and I told myself that meant I was winning. On Friday, Cassidy planned a rooftop bar night. She said we needed a girls' reset. I knew what she really meant. She meant an audience. She meant a place where I could say the right lines and people would clap. Before I left, Ethan asked what time I would be back. I said late. He asked if the kids would see me before bed. I said they would survive one night. He said that was not fair. I said he was being dramatic. He asked if I could text when I arrived. I said I was not a teenager. Then I walked out, because leaving first always felt powerful. At the bar, Cassidy took photos right away. She said I looked like a new woman. Jules said I looked lighter. I said I was finally taking my life back. I kept my voice loud enough for the table next to us to hear, because it made it feel true. Cassidy asked what Ethan thought about my glow-up. I said Ethan pretended to support it, but he acted jealous. Cassidy asked if he tried to stop me. I said he tried in small ways, like questions and sad looks. Jules asked if he ever checked my phone. I said he did not need to, because he tried to control me with guilt. I watched their faces shift into sympathy. It felt like warm air. Cassidy said men do that when they feel small. I laughed and said Ethan loved being the smart one, but he could not handle me being confident. Jules asked if I thought he needed therapy. I said maybe, because he took everything personally. I could hear how clean my words sounded. I sounded like a victim without saying the word. Cassidy posted a story and tagged me. She wrote something like, "When your man can't handle your growth." I did not stop her. I even shared it. I told myself it was harmless because it did not say his name, but I knew people would connect it. People always connect it. Logan liked the story within minutes. My stomach jumped in a way I told myself was just excitement. When I got home, the house was quiet. Ethan was on the couch with a blanket over Noah's feet. Maya was asleep on the other side, with a book open on her chest. Ethan looked up and asked if I had fun. I said yes. He asked if I saw his text. I said I was busy. He said he only asked if I was safe. I said I was not his responsibility. He stood and carried Noah to bed. He did not ask where I went. He did not ask who I was with. That calm was not kindness. It felt like a wall. I hated it. In the hallway, he asked if we could talk in the morning. I said he always picked the worst times. He asked what time would be better. I said any time when he was not trying to trap me. He said he was not trapping me. He said he wanted to understand. I told him understanding was another word for control. The next day, I made a point of being cheerful at breakfast. I kissed the kids and asked about their plans. Ethan watched me like he was studying a new person. He asked if I wanted to take Maya to her dance class. I said I had training later. He asked why training was more important than dance class. I said my health mattered too. At school pickup on Monday, I arrived in my workout set on purpose. It made me look disciplined. Ethan was already there, standing near the curb like he had been waiting. He asked why I dressed like that for pickup. I said I had a busy day. He asked if Logan was coming today. I said yes. He asked if he could at least be downstairs during the session. I said he should trust me. He said trust needed care. I told him trust needed freedom. A mom I knew, Tanya, waved at me. I smiled and leaned close to her like we were friends. I said Ethan had been stressed lately. I said work pressure was making him tense. I said I was trying to support him. I made sure Ethan could hear it. He looked at me, and I could tell he understood what I was doing. After pickup, Ethan drove behind me for a few blocks. He usually turned off earlier for errands. That day, he stayed close. When I got home, he parked and stayed in the car for a moment, like he was deciding something. Then he came inside and went straight to his office without speaking. I passed his office door and saw his screen for a second. A spreadsheet was open. No title, just rows and columns. He clicked away when he noticed me. I asked what he was working on. He said household planning. I said that sounded like surveillance. He said it was just planning. On the kitchen counter, I noticed a new key on his ring. It was not for his truck. It looked like a small drawer key. When I asked about it, he said he had organized some storage. I said he was acting secretive. He said he was trying to make life simpler. That night, I went down to the basement early. I did not know why, but I felt pulled. I stood on the mat and looked up at the shelf again. The small dark dot was still there. I stepped closer and saw a thin line of tape around it, like someone fixed it in place. I told myself it was a sensor for the lights. I told myself I was being paranoid. Paranoid was Ethan's role, not mine. Then my phone buzzed with a message from Logan asking if I was ready, and I went back to my mirror and fixed my hair like nothing in the world could touch me. Logan arrived 10 minutes early, like he wanted to own the air in my house. I opened the door and kept my smile small, the way I did at work when I wanted people to lean in. He asked if Ethan was home. I said Ethan was upstairs working. Logan said that was good because he liked focus. I told myself that sounded professional, not personal. In the basement, he turned on music from his phone. He asked how my week felt. I said I felt lighter. He said my face looked different. I said I was finally sleeping again. It was not true, but it sounded like a victory line. He told me I deserved this version of me. I liked hearing deserved because it made everything feel earned, not taken. Halfway through, he stepped close to adjust my form. His hand stayed a second longer than it needed to. I did not step back. I told myself I was not doing anything wrong. I told myself Ethan never touched me like that anymore. I told myself that made it fair. After the session, Logan did not rush to leave. He stood near the weight rack and looked around like he was already part of the house. He asked if I ever felt trapped. I said yes. He asked if Ethan ever listened. I said Ethan listened only to answer, not to understand. Logan said that was lonely. I said it was. Then things shifted in a quiet way, like a door clicking shut. It was not loud. It was not dramatic. It was a choice made in silence. I crossed a line with him in my basement gym, and I knew it. I can say that now, even if I still hate how that sounds. In the moment, I told myself it was not real. I told myself it was just a slip, just a tension, just something my body needed after being ignored for years. When Logan left, he smiled and said he would text me the next plan. I said okay, like it was normal. My hands shook for a minute after the door closed. Then I took a shower and scrubbed too hard. I said it was sweat. I said it was gym smell. I said it was nothing. At dinner, Ethan asked how training went. I said it was productive. He asked why I looked tense. I said work was stressful. He asked if Logan changed the routine. I said yes, because I needed stronger goals. Ethan nodded in a slow way that made me feel like he was saving the detail, like a note. Later, he came into the kitchen while I was putting dishes away. He asked if I used a new cleaning spray in the basement. I said yes. He asked why the basement smelled like cologne. I said maybe Logan wore it. Ethan paused and said he did not love strangers bringing strong scents into the house. I said Logan was not a stranger, and I said Ethan was being petty. He asked if I could keep the basement door cracked during sessions. I said no. He asked why. I said because it made me feel watched. He said it was his house too. I said it was my body too. I used too like a shield. It turned any request into an insult. That night, I noticed something small that made my stomach drop. Ethan had moved my gym mat a few inches, perfectly straight again, like he fixed a crooked picture frame. It was a tiny thing, but it felt like he had been down there when I was not watching. I told myself he was checking the equipment because he missed controlling something. I told myself he was jealous of Logan's results. I told myself Ethan hated the idea that another man understood my body better than he did. That thought felt hot, and I held it like proof that I was still desirable. The next morning, Maya asked why Dad did not eat with us anymore. I said Dad was busy. She asked if Dad was mad. I said Dad was stressed. I said it in the same calm voice I used with coworkers when I wanted them to believe me. Maya watched me too long, then nodded like she did not believe it, but she accepted it anyway. At work, Cassidy asked how my upgrade era was going. I laughed and said I felt powerful. She asked what Ethan said. I said Ethan was acting weird and quiet. Cassidy said that was a mind game. She said men go quiet to punish women. I agreed fast, because I wanted it to be true. If Ethan was punishing me, then I was the victim again. Jules asked if I thought Ethan was checking on me. I said maybe because he was insecure. I said he liked control. I did not mention the part where I had lied to his face about coffee and schedules. That part did not fit my story. That afternoon, Logan texted me from a new number. He said he changed his phone plan. It was probably a lie, but I liked the new number because it felt like a fresh start. He asked if I wanted an extra session on Friday. I stared at the message and told myself I should say no. Then I thought of Ethan's calm face and how it made me feel like I was disappearing. I said yes. In the office parking garage, I sat in my car and erased the thread. My finger moved without thinking. It was like cleaning a spill before anyone saw. I told myself it was privacy. I told myself Ethan did not deserve full access to me when he gave me so little. When I got home, Ethan's truck was in the driveway, but he was not in the kitchen like usual. I heard a faint hum upstairs, like a shredder or a small machine running. It stopped when I reached the landing. I stood there listening, then kept walking like I did not care. In the hallway, I saw the basement door handle looked new. It was not broken before. It was just newer. Ethan stepped out of his office and asked if I noticed. I said yes. He said he changed it because it was loose. I said he was suddenly very handy. He did not smile. He just said he liked things secure. I went to the basement later to stretch. I wanted to prove to myself that nothing in the room could scare me. I turned on the lights and looked up at the shelf again. The small dark dot sat there, angled toward the mat. The tape around it looked fresh, like someone pressed it down recently. I took one step toward it, then stopped. If I touched it, I would have to admit I was worried. If I admitted I was worried, I would have to admit I did something worth catching. So I backed away and told myself it was a sensor. I told myself Ethan was not smart enough to set up hidden cameras. I told myself I was still the one with power, because I had the story, and I had the friends, and I had the confidence glow everyone praised. That weekend, I took the kids to the community recreation center because I wanted to look like a good mom in public. Noah ran ahead, and Maya asked if Dad would come too. I said Dad was busy again. At the lobby, I saw Logan near the vending machines. He waved like we were old friends. My pulse jumped. I glanced around and saw two neighbors I recognized. I walked toward Logan anyway. He asked how I was. I said I was good. He asked if I wanted to talk about next week. I said later. I kept my voice light and casual, like nothing mattered. One neighbor's eyes flicked between us. I smiled harder, like a mask. I said Logan was my trainer. I said he was helping me get healthy. Logan nodded and said he loved helping busy moms. It sounded clean, but the neighbor's face stayed tight, like she was filing the moment away. On the drive home, Ethan called. He asked where we were. I said the recreation center. He asked if anyone else was with us. I said no. My voice did not shake, but my throat burned. Ethan paused, then said okay, and ended the call. That okay stayed in my head all night, because it did not sound like trust. It sounded like a box closing. The week after the recreation center felt like it had eyes. I started noticing how people paused before smiling, like they were measuring me. I told myself I was imagining it. Then I told myself, even if it was real, it did not matter, because I had the louder voice. Denise invited us to a family dinner at a busy restaurant with a long table. She said it was good for the kids and good for unity. I knew what she meant. She meant she wanted an audience for my version. Before we left, Ethan asked what time dinner started. I said he could check the text like everyone else. He asked if Logan was coming for training that day. I said yes. He asked why I scheduled it before family dinner. I said because my health was not optional. He stared at me and said he did not want strangers in the house when we had family plans. I said he did not get to plan my calendar like a boss. In the basement, Logan kept it simple. He asked why I looked tense. I said my husband was acting cold. Logan said cold men make women look elsewhere. I agreed, because it gave me a clean reason. When he left, he said he would send me a new plan. I said okay, and deleted the message thread again as soon as it came in. I told myself that deleting was not lying. I told myself it was protecting my peace. At the restaurant, the table was full. Denise and Frank were there. Sienna and her boyfriend came late. Ruth and Calvin sat on the other side, closer to Ethan. My kids sat between us, like a divider. Denise asked Ethan how work was. Ethan said it was fine. Denise asked why he looked tired. Ethan said he had a lot on his mind. Denise turned to me and asked if I was keeping him on his toes. I laughed and said I was focusing on myself lately. Denise said that was good, because men get lazy when women stop trying. I took that opening and made it bigger. Cassidy had told me that if I wanted people to believe a story, I needed a simple villain line. So I gave them one. I said Ethan did not like my training. I said he asked too many questions. I said he watched the calendar like it was evidence. I said it was exhausting to live with someone who treated you like a suspect. Ethan looked down at his plate and kept cutting his food into small pieces. He did not snap. He did not roll his eyes. He just ate. That calm made me angry, because it did not give the table a moment to judge him. So I pushed again. I said I used to feel small in my own home. I said I was finally learning confidence. I said Ethan acted like confidence was a threat. Denise nodded hard, like she was cheering. She said, men fear strong women. Sienna looked at me and asked if I was sure I was being fair. I said fairness was not the point. I said survival was. Ruth spoke once, softly. She asked if we could keep adult topics away from the kids. I smiled at her like she was sweet and old. I said, of course, then I kept going anyway, just using safer words. I said Ethan had moods. I said he withheld warmth. I said it made the house heavy. I watched Maya's face tighten. Noah swung his legs under the table and hummed. Ethan asked if we could change the subject. I said he always wanted silence. Denise asked Ethan why he was so sensitive. Ethan said he did not want private issues shared at dinner. Denise said marriage was family business. I said Ethan liked privacy because privacy hid his behavior. That line made heads turn, and I felt a rush. After dinner, in the hallway near the bathrooms, Ruth stopped me. She asked if I realized what I was doing. I said I was telling the truth. She asked why my truth needed an audience. I said because Ethan never listened in private. She said Ethan listened plenty. She said he just did not obey. I told her that was the same thing. Ruth's mouth tightened. She said she hoped I remembered that the kids heard more than I thought. I said kids forget. In the car, Ethan drove without music. Maya asked if we could do movie night. Ethan said yes. Noah asked why Mom and Dad talked loud at dinner. I said we were just discussing plans. Ethan said we were not discussing plans. He said we were discussing respect. I said he was obsessed with respect. I said respect follows results, and I had results. Ethan did not answer. He just tightened his hands on the wheel. At home, the kitchen looked different in small ways. 2 mugs sat on opposite counters again. A guest bed upstairs had a blanket folded at the end, like someone slept there, but wanted it to look neat. A faint toner smell floated from Ethan's office. It made me think of school papers and forms and boring adult things. I went to his office door and leaned in. Ethan was on his laptop. A folder window was open, and I saw labels like household and utilities and bank. He clicked it closed when he noticed me. I asked what he was doing. He said he was organizing. I said he was acting secretive again. He said he was trying to make things clearer. I told him clarity was not his job. I told him trust was his job. He said trust was both our job. I laughed and said he sounded like a counselor. He asked if I wanted counseling. I said I did not want someone to tell me to accept neglect. On Monday at work, I used the dinner story like a badge. In the open plan office, Cassidy asked how the family showdown went. I said Ethan was quiet as usual. Cassidy said quiet men are dangerous in a different way. That word dangerous was too strong, but it made my stomach feel powerful. I told Cassidy that Ethan tracked my schedule like a detective. Cassidy said that was creepy. Jules asked if I thought he was recording me. I said Ethan did not have the courage to do anything real. I said he just sulked. Later that day, my manager asked me for a quick word. She brought me into the small HR meeting room, which felt like a mirror of my own job. She said she noticed personal talk spreading. She said people were repeating things I said. She asked if everything was stable at home. I said yes, but I said my husband was stressed. She asked if I felt safe. I said safe, yes, but I said emotionally drained. She told me to keep personal drama off company channels. She said it could become a workplace issue. I nodded like I understood, but inside I felt insulted. I told myself even my job wanted to silence me, like Ethan did. After work, I went to the grocery store with the kids. I grabbed extra items on purpose, like a reward. At self-checkout, my card declined on a non-essential item. I tried again, and it declined again. My face burned because people stood behind me. Ethan's card worked when he tapped it. He did not look at me. He just paid and started bagging calmly. I whispered that this was embarrassing. He said he would review the budget tonight. I whispered that he was punishing me. He said he was protecting the household. In the car, Maya asked if we were broke. I said no. Ethan said we were fine, but we needed structure. Noah asked what structure meant. Ethan said it meant being careful. I watched Ethan in the rearview mirror when he spoke to the kids. His voice was steady and kind, and it annoyed me because it made him look like the adult. That night, I heard a soft beep from Ethan's phone, like a recording app starting and stopping. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was still in control. Then I went downstairs to the basement alone and stared up at that dark dot on the shelf again, and for the first time, I did not feel confident at all. The next morning, I woke up early on purpose. I wanted to catch Ethan off guard. I wanted him to look tired and messy, so I could say he was the one falling apart. But he was already dressed. His shirt was ironed. His hair was neat. He stood at the counter packing lunches like he did every day, calm like a machine. He asked if I wanted coffee. I said I could make my own. He asked if I was taking Maya to school. I said I had a busy day. He said he could do drop-off. I said of course he could because he loved playing hero. He did not react to that. He just put a sandwich into a bag and zipped it closed. Maya walked in and asked why Dad slept in the guest room. I said Dad liked extra space. Ethan said he wanted everyone to rest. Maya asked if we were getting divorced. My heart jumped, but my face stayed smooth. I said kids should not use big words like that. Ethan said Maya was allowed to ask questions. I said Ethan was putting fear in her head. He said he was not. He said the fear came from tension, not from words. Noah came in, rubbing his eyes. He asked if we could go to the park later. I said maybe. Ethan said yes, if homework was done. Noah smiled at him. That smile annoyed me. It felt like Ethan was stealing the kids with kindness. At work, I kept my voice bright. I told Cassidy that Ethan was acting like a robot. She said that meant he was plotting. I laughed and said he could not plot his way out of a paper bag. But when I said it, I felt a small worry under my ribs. I remembered the spreadsheet. I remembered the new key. I remembered the quiet printer sound. I told myself it was just his way of trying to scare me. Around lunch, I texted Logan and asked if he could come Friday. He replied fast and said yes. He added a wink emoji. I stared at it and felt both powerful and stupid. I deleted the message thread, then checked my deleted folder, then cleared it too. I told myself that was normal. I told myself smart women protected themselves. After school, I went to the pickup line early for once. I wore a fitted jacket and clean makeup. I wanted other parents to see me as stable. Ethan was already there, standing near the curb again. He held a printed school calendar in his hand. It did not look like the one from the fridge. It looked new. He asked if we could talk for 5 minutes after pickup. I said what was there to talk about. He said the kids' routine needed consistency. I said he was using the kids as a shield. He said he was using the kids as a reason. I told him those were the same thing. Maya got into the car and asked if we could do movie night again. Ethan said yes. Noah asked if we could get ice cream. Ethan said maybe on the weekend. I said we did not need to buy love. Ethan looked at me and said he was not buying love. He was keeping normal. On the way home, Ethan took a different turn. I asked where he was going. He said he needed to stop by his parents' house to pick up something. I asked what he needed. He said it was personal. That word hit me like a slap because it matched his calendar reminder. At Ruth and Calvin's house, the living room smelled like tea and clean soap. Ruth greeted the kids and asked about school. Calvin asked Ethan about the truck. Everyone acted normal, but the air felt tight like a string pulled too far. Ruth asked me how work was. I said work was fine, but home was hard because Ethan held grudges. Ruth said Ethan did not hold grudges. She said he held boundaries. I said boundaries were just another word for control. Ruth said control was what you tried to do to people. Boundaries were what you did to protect yourself. I felt my face heat up. I said she was biased. Ethan took Calvin to the hallway for a minute. They spoke low. I could not hear words, only the tone, calm and serious. Ruth stayed with the kids and offered them fruit. Maya sat close to her, like she felt safe there. That bothered me more than any argument. When Ethan came back, he had a small bag in his hand. It could have been anything. He did not explain it. He just thanked his parents. Ruth hugged the kids a little too long. Then she looked at me and said she hoped I would choose honesty. I laughed and said honesty was a funny word from someone who only heard Ethan's side. She said she saw more than one side. She said she saw patterns. In the car, Ethan drove with both hands on the wheel. I asked what was in the bag. He said it was for the house. I asked why he needed his parents for that. He said he liked support. I said that was dramatic. He said he was done doing everything alone. At home, I went straight to the kitchen like it was my stage. I started talking fast. I said his parents were turning the kids against me. I said he was running a campaign. I said the card decline was his fault. I said he was punishing me on purpose so I would beg. He listened without interrupting. That calm made my throat tight. I said he always hid behind silence. He said he was not hiding. He said he was choosing his words carefully. I said careful words were just lies with good manners. He said that was not true. I opened the fridge too hard. A magnet fell. I picked it up and slapped it back on. Ethan asked me to lower my voice because the kids were upstairs. I said he cared more about quiet than truth. He said he cared about the kids, hearing their parents insult each other. I said if he did not want insults, he should stop acting like a stranger. He asked if I had been honest about Logan. My heart beat once, hard. I smiled like he was silly. I asked why he was obsessed with Logan. He said he was not obsessed. He said he was aware. I said aware was another word for paranoid. He said he did not want to fight. He said he wanted a plan. I stepped closer and said he could not scare me with plans. I said he had no proof of anything. I said if he tried to accuse me, everyone would laugh at him like they did at the restaurant. I said he would look weak. I watched his face, waiting for anger. But he did not explode. He asked if I noticed how the kids acted lately. He said Maya stopped singing in the mornings. He said Noah asked if he had to choose a parent. I said he was making that up to manipulate me. He said he wished he was making it up. Then he said something that made the room feel smaller. He said he was not going to argue in circles anymore. He said he would handle it properly. I tried to laugh, but the sound came out thin. I asked what properly meant. He did not answer that. He just looked past me toward the stairs, like he was already thinking about tomorrow's pickup line, tomorrow's dinner, tomorrow's calm steps. And for the first time, I understood that my words were not pulling him back into my game. They were bouncing off him like stones off a closed door. I thought Ethan's properly line was just a threat to scare me. I told myself he was too soft to do anything real. So, when he texted me the next day and asked to meet near my office, I went because I wanted the last word. I wanted to walk in confident and walk out with him apologizing. The office tower lobby was bright and cold. People moved fast with coffee cups and badges. I wore a sharp coat and heels like armor. Ethan stood near a pillar, not close, not far. He did not look angry. He looked finished. I asked why we had to meet here. He said he needed it to be simple and clear. I said he was being dramatic. He said he was being careful. I asked if he planned to embarrass me. He said he planned to end the chaos. A man I did not know walked toward me with a folder in his hands. He asked if I was Ottilie Benson. I said yes. He said he had documents for me. I stepped back and asked what this was. Ethan did not move. The man said he was delivering legal papers. My stomach turned. I looked at Ethan and asked if he was serious. He said yes. I asked if he was trying to destroy me. He said he was trying to protect the kids and himself. I tried to laugh, but my mouth felt dry. I took the papers because people were watching. I did not want to look weak. My eyes jumped over words I did not want to see. Divorce, temporary orders, parenting schedule, financial safeguards, a list of dates and times, like my life became a calendar owned by someone else. I saw one line that made my face go cold. It referenced video footage from the home gym. It said the footage supported claims of marital misconduct. It said it like a clean fact, not a fight. I stared at Ethan and asked how he even had that. I said recording me was creepy. I said he was the real problem. He said the camera was in his house gym for property and safety, and he discovered what it captured. He said he did not share it online. He said he shared it only in the proper process. I wanted to shout that it was not what it looked like. I wanted to say it was only training, and people misunderstood closeness. But the words felt stupid the second I formed them. I could feel the lobby watching my face, waiting. I said he set me up. He said he did not set me up. He said I made choices, and he stopped covering for them. I tried another angle. I asked if he could just talk to me, privately, like adults. He said we already tried talking, and I used it to twist things. He said from now on, he would communicate through formal channels only. Denise called me right then. I saw her name on my screen and felt a small relief, like backup arriving. I answered and told her Ethan served me papers in public. I expected her to rage. She started to, then I heard her voice drop when I said the papers mentioned video. She asked what video. I said it was nothing. She did not believe me, and I hated her for that. I flipped through the pages again with shaking hands. It said the temporary plan started now. It said who stayed in the home for the first period. It said how pickups worked. It said money moved to separate accounts for bills and child needs, with limits. It was all written like someone already measured our life and sealed it. I looked up and saw Ruth and Calvin across the lobby, near the doors, calm and quiet. Ruth held a small bag like she came prepared for a long day. She did not look happy. She looked steady. That steadiness made me feel smaller than any insult. Ethan asked if I understood the schedule. I said I understood nothing. He said the kids would be okay, because the routine was clear. I said he was using the system to punish me. He said he was using the system to stop me from punishing everyone. Later that day, I went to school pickup like normal, because I refused to let anyone think I lost control. I walked up like I belonged there. The pickup coordinator checked a note, then asked me to wait. She said the instructions were updated. I asked what instructions. She said she had to follow the current schedule. Ethan's car pulled in, right on time, like he always was. He got out with a calm face and greeted the kids. Maya ran to him first. Noah grabbed his hand. I stood there with the papers in my bag and the eyes of other parents around me, and I understood the temporary plan was not a threat anymore. It was already happening.